I'm Alina, and this is my third video on my blacksmithing process. So this summer I returned to blacksmithing. Before I started forging anything though, I wanted to solve some of the challenges I had faced last year, the biggest one being the base of the anvil. I had a pretty secure and heavy base with the tree stump attached to some wooden beams, but it was too low for good blacksmithing technique, which meant that I had to bend too much to hammer. Another issue was that the tree stump was already a few years old and had mostly rotted through, which meant that the anvil would shift around as I hammered the metal. I got a new tree stump from our landscaper who had recently cut down one of our neighbor's trees, but the face was slanted. So to fix that, I created a triangle around the stump with wooden planks and made sure those were level. One thing I forgot to take into account here was that the ground itself wasn't level, so my final surface ended up being slightly slanted, not too big of a deal. After creating the triangle that would guide the cut, I used a chainsaw to cut through the stump. It was surprisingly difficult since the stump was so thick and I had a small chainsaw, but I did it. I nailed the stump to the wooden beams with some L brackets, and then I applied a few coats of varnish onto the stump to prevent rot like it did last time. I used metal plumber's tape to securely attach the anvil and the vise to the tree stump, screwing in the nails into the holes of the tape. The other major modification I made to my forge was switching out the hairdryer for a leaf blower. I wanted to increase the airflow to the coals, and since a leaf blower is many times more powerful than a hairdryer, I thought that this would be the best way to do it. I bought a plastic connector piece at Home Depot that would nicely slot into the end of the leaf blower and attached everything with duct tape. Here's what my revamped forge workspace looks like now. Now on to using my new forge. I used lighter fluid to light my forge, but I'm notoriously terrible at judging how much fluid to use and when to turn on the leaf blower, so it usually takes me a couple tries. After I lit the charcoal, I waited a few minutes for it to heat up and then put my railroad spike in. My goal this time was to make a dagger to give to my best friend for her birthday. I heated and hammered the blade until it started to get thinner, which took a long time. One thing I did differently with this dagger was to keep the blade on the thicker side and then smooth it with a belt grinder to polish out all the dents. I also tried twisting the handle in the opposite direction from last time, since my friend is left-handed, so that the spirals would be in a more ergonomic position when you're holding the dagger. After I polished it with the belt grinder, here's my finished blade. I'm really proud of it. It took a long time, I think around 12 to 14 hours, so I hope my friend likes it. In the future, I'm going to try and make longer blades. I'm thinking maybe a kukri, which is a type of machete that was used by the Gurkha warriors in Nepal. Thanks for watching.